Game number 1, Dragonshire. We're in the losers bracket, everybody. Team Ash against the Enjoyer. So we're going to follow Team Ash a little bit more through the qualifier, simply because for them it is the first tournament that they are playing in the context of the Banshee Cup. Now, as already mentioned, we have a double elimination system. We're in the losers bracket right now, and it's kind of important for the blue team that they make it as far as possible. Now, they don't have to win the tournament, but the way that we are using, the system that we are using to qualify teams for the playoffs is that you can participate in as many qualifiers as you want. You get up points as you move through the rounds, and those points will be added up after all the qualifiers are done and the top teams make it into the playoffs and then play for the prize money of 2,500 euros. And since this is the first qualifier that Team Ash participates in, it's kind of important for them to get as many points early on as they can. They have only 2 more qualifiers after this one that they could potentially play in, so kind of big thing. Dragonshire being the first map in the best of 3, we get Maiev banned out, so they're already starting to target bishops, which is actually something that we have seen throughout the entire tournament. That means a lot of Hanzo bans, a lot of Maiev bans that we've seen. Even Falstad at times banned, because bishops has occasionally played him. It was actually a time where he locked him in fairly frequently. But on the other hand, we got the Enjoyers. And the one thing that we always say about the Enjoyers is that they are thriving on chaos. So the more chaotic the games get, the better for them. If you call your team the Storm League Enjoyers, then you would assume that they're thriving on exactly that. But yeah, the fun part about this is obviously that they're up against an opponent that likes to be aggressive. So this could be an absolutely crazy game. And I certainly hope that it will be. And we had some crazy games already. In the context of the qualifiers, we had Butcher, we had Probius, we had Nova. In this 4th qualifier in particular, Nova being played in one of the winner bracket matches, I believe it was by the Bobby Cottage fan club, was just fascinating. It was absolutely funny. So now we get Lucio banned out. We have a ban also on Junkrat, with Hanzo being locked in right away. I'm actually a little bit surprised that they didn't ban Hanzo. I just mentioned him as a pick for bishops, and this is not something where the Enjoyers are like, oh my god, we didn't know. Everybody knows that Bishops loves to play Hanzo. So here he comes as a very quick first pick, and we'll see if he can land those arrows. We had a couple missing yesterday or the day before. The arrow cam was busy. Sylvanas, fitting for the Banshee Cup. Also, by the way, we just added a new cup, a new Banshee Cup into the shop. So if you are not aware, we actually have a merch shop. It was requested for, honestly, years. And I believe at some point last year, we finally put it in. And we now have a few more variations, but we also have some Banshee Cup merch now. Personally, I'm still relying on my HGC, the Heroes Gaming Community mug here, but we actually have a Banshee Cup. So if you guys want to check that out, there's a link in the description that you can have a look at. And as I said, we just added a few more variations to it. Or, to be more specific, Rob did. And I'm probably going to snag myself up one of those as well, because they look pretty good. A bit different than these. Anyways, back to topic. Banshee Queen for the Banshee Cup. Sylvanas is picked, and with Blaze and Johanna on the side of the blue team, we now have Team Ash also with a very solid front line. And what was it? Team Ash Abusive Support Harassment is what they call themselves this time. During the Meta Madness tournament, the last one, they were called Avoiding Same Heroes. And I don't even know what all the acronyms in the past were standing for, but it's always hilarious seeing them come into another tournament. And I think at this point it's really getting difficult for them. They're probably sitting... The reason why they participated in the 4th qualifier is probably that it took them 3 weeks to come up with a new acronym for Ash. And now that they finally have one, they could sign up for it. So, but Jojo is picked, Leo banned, Rega banned. That leaves over the next double pick over here for the Enjoyers, and we get Hogga and Chromie. Okay, so they still need a frontliner, but at least we have them with Sylvanas to push some of the structures down. We have Chromie that can also try and snipe people. There is a bit of a lack of stuns though. Maybe they're going for Muradin as their frontline and then a Stormbolt into a Chromie combo, but they don't have a whole lot of CC. I mean, they have a Wailing Arrow of Sylvanas that they can use, they have Brightwing with the Poly, but when you're talking about hard stuns, there's very little that they can do here. Falstad and Anduin. Okay, so we got the Crybaby and we get Falstad. They got a global. I mean, Brightwing technically is a global on the other side, but our last pick. My money is on Muradin in the context here. For Dragonshire, he would definitely fit, would be a good choice, and the Stormbolt setup for Chromie would be neat too. But let's see what they're actually deciding to do. It's game number 1 again, and it is the Dwarf. First game of the series. We're heading into Dragonshire. The Storm League Enjoyers going up against Team Ash. Let's go. Game number 1 in the best of 3 series here in the losers bracket of the 4th qualifier of the Banshee Cup, and it's party time. We should be in for some fireworks here. This is the last chance for the two teams to make it to the next round, but we have now on the left Team Ash with Renella on Anduin, Maitri playing Johanna, we get Bishops on Hanzo, Down for Life on Blaze, Morenas on Falstad, and over on the right side of the map, it's the Enjoyers with Arion on Sylvanas, Richu on Hogger, we have Lavekal on Brightwing, Ether on Chromie, and Atrax is playing Muradin. Alright, good stuff. So, let's see what's going to happen. Who's taking it now? I mean, for the time being, what we're getting is a little bit of action in the middle of the map. Seems like both of the teams are absolutely willing to commit, or so I thought, and then we had the rotation starting towards the top. So, yep, off we go. With that, we already have a little bit of poke happening. I mean, nothing too crazy early on. At the top side, it's now Hogger against Blaze with the global in play. Obviously, Forza is trying to help out to apply pressure. That's making it much easier for Blaze once that it's back to a 1v1 to control the lane. Hogger already had to tap the fountain. Forza can still roam the map a bit. And down here at the bottom of the map, Muradin was lying in waiting, hoping that he could get an opportunity to take the opponent down too. But it didn't quite work out for them. So, as is, we're now having still that little trap that nobody has fallen for thus far. But with the 1 minute mark passing and the camps coming up, we have Hogger instantly starting to rotate over in an attempt to get this camp as quickly as possible. Just pogging it out here all day, every day, and getting this fairly easily. Yeah, it's not stupid at all. And then on the left side, we have Blaze and Falstad doing their thing. So yeah, Hogger just spin to win all day, every day. But yeah, the first shrine is already activating, siege giants are coming in, we have 4 on the blue team side, both of their camps already in the game, and no kills just yet, but everybody is just starting to rotate back to the lane, starting to take a bit of control. Top side, we now have 3 aiming for Hogger. I don't think they're going to be able to take a kill there with him just spinning out, but they can now easily defend, and it of course also means that they have a chance to take the control of the top shrine. With level 4 talents kicking in and Sylvanas in their hands, the Enjoyers have managed to damage the bottom wall a bit and take one of the siege giants out. They of course are still holding on strong to the lane over here. And in addition, Falstad now with hammer gains, we got the Incinerator gauntlets. And a bit of an attack in the middle, but Maitri is going to be totally fine here. Taking Jojo down this early in the game takes a bit more than Muradin and Sylvanas, so yeah. But again, it's all about trying to defend now. There's also the threat of a Dragonite for the blue team. I don't think that Team Ash is going to get that just now, but Muradin is still defending the middle of the map to ensure that Maitri doesn't sneak an easy one as the game just pops up. A bit of damage also down here against Chromie. She has to be careful too. Muradin going for the double clap with Thunderburn. So we're going to see him with Healing Static on level 13. And the extra survivability that will grant him. When it comes to talents, we're also getting Subdue. So we're going to keep an eye out if Jojo is able in one of the bigger team fights to get it. Anduin is down. Crybaby eliminated. And that's the first blood in the game. So, Team Ash losing one of their heroes. Double control in the shrines for just a second. That's not going to help them too much. And specifically, the bot lane is now suffering as Sylvanas is pushing in once more with the rest of the team. It's a 4-man and Falstad flies straight into them. But now they're trying to turn it on Chromie and they get the kill. Nice. Job well done. Chromie down, easily taken apart. Another quick hit is coming as they're going for Johanna, but even with the Stormbolt connecting from Muradin, there's little to be done here. So, same time, we're now getting Arion, Hearthing back, and obviously just global back in time. But we get level 7 talents, that gives us also the secret weapon for Falstad. We have Muradin still battling it out with Hanzo at the bottom of the map. Stormbolts galore. That man is throwing hammers away, like seriously. If that was any kind of proper RPG, I mean, where does he get those hammers from? Must cost him a fortune. I mean, every single game that he's done with, you know, like he comes back to the smith and he's just like, dude, I need another 100 hammers. Give me 150, I'm starting to run low. It's pretty strong. He's carrying all of that in his back pocket. Does anybody remember the good old Disney comics with Gamma? Like Mickey Mouse, Gamma, does anybody remember that? I don't know if Gamma is still a character, but that was actually amazing. Muradin must have, like, pants like Gamma. Underneath that armor, there's some Gamma pants right there, because, yeah, he's just storing all the hammers there. I actually don't think I don't even know if this is still a character in those, but yeah, back when I was a kid, that was actually a thing. Now anyways, we got 2 kills to 1, and all the way up towards the top. We already got Morenas breaking through the wall too, so could start to attack the fort a little bit. Muradin still sitting in the middle. It's a pretty tame opening, honestly, with those 2 teams and the characteristics that they've shown in the last matches and qualifiers. I expected this to be a lot more chaotic right from the get-go. Down at the bottom of the map. Now with the double control, Chromie is still holding her own, whereas up at the top it's a 4-man that is now chasing down Falstad. And the birdie turns it on Sylvanas. They nearly got a kill here. They get a kill at the bottom of the map though. Hanzo is down. Anduin just let him die. He could have healed him. We didn't see it here, but he actually had all the cooldowns ready. He had full mana. And Renella just saw that Anduin was about to fall, and he's just like, yeah, I hate that guy. And instead he's now, oh, that must hurt. Can you imagine being soloed by Anduin? I would probably kill myself before that happens. Oh boy. Like, I would just like rage quit instantly. Anduin comes in and kills Chromie. Now he gets punished a moment later, but you gotta give credit to Renella. That was actually nicely done. So yeah, well played. Goes for the light bomb as they have level 10. Chromie is in the corner and Anduin's just like, I got this! And takes her down. Fantastic. Oh, this is brilliant. So Dragonite in the middle, breaking through the walls, starting to take some hit points off the fort itself, and they're still pressuring the bot lane. It's 3 kills to 3 now. And yeah, love it. Blaze also getting murdered, didn't have bunker anymore. They were hoping to at least get the counter kill on Chromie, and well, that didn't work out for them. So as all of this plays out, we now get 11,000 damage for the top damage dealer on the red team side, which is Muradin. Yeah, Muradin with the big numbers all of a sudden. Look at him, hitting those storm bolts. Sylvanas more interested in siege damage apparently, and she can prove it again down here at the bottom fort. So these Sylvanas pushes are starting to get a bit nasty. Really nasty. Seems like they might be the first ones to take one of the forts out, and yes, they are. Fort is gone. By the way, to contextualize this real quickly, in the middle the fort is still standing. So it's still alive and kicking over here. Arrow, ooh, yeah, that one is going, whoo, the distance, my god. If it didn't die yet, it's still flying, so yeah, that one is, wow. Until it runs out of jet fuel. But yeah, down at the bottom of the map, so they can take the camp now. We still have level 12 versus level 12. Top side, Falstad is using his global to pressure the structures again and go for the fort. And they're also having a 4-man in the middle of the map that is trying to at least draw even and take 1 out. So yep, 1 fort destroyed. Second one under pressure all the way up at the top. And down at the bottom of the map, seems like Muradin is trying to go for the Siege Giants here, and the rest of the team is already closing in to try and help him out. My try is still okay. Jet Propulsion misses as Muradin jumps back over. And they have a nice double push set up with 2 cams going through the bot lane and a catapult to boot. So they're really trying to utilize that pressure properly. The problem is only that if you go this deep, you are going to be flanked at some point. So they're just trying to waste their time while... Oh. What are these arrows? Bishops is looking for the perfect angle, and he's still looking. He hasn't found it yet. I said earlier earlier when we were in the lobby, I was talking to the teams and I had to tell them which team is on which side, and initially I misspoke. I told him by accident that Team Ash is supposed to be on the right side, and I realized my mistake a second later. I'm like, boys, I'm actually drunk, I'm sorry. But Team Ash is on the left. And then Bishops replied immediately and says like, I'm drunk too. And I didn't believe him. But looking at the arrows here, I can see what he's talking about. So, I'm not sure what they did, but I think there was some Russian vodka involved. So, yeah, Bishops might not have been kidding. I'm not quite sure. So, Blaze is gone, and with the light bomb engage that we're getting, they might follow that up with a second kill on Brightwing. Might try, yes, gets it. Comes in, takes out the Fruit Fly. Kill for a kill. Yeah, but I was thinking maybe a follow-up even on Hogger, but he taps the fountain and he's still totally fine over here. So, as they are starting to make their move for Muradin, they're forcing the Dwarf to pop Avatar. And this arrow is on point this time, and it allows them to go for Sylvanas. So, well done. We have Sylvanas taken down, and that's now 5 kills to 5. They're absolutely dead even when it comes to the kill count. Early level 15. And we're 10 minutes in. Dragonite is available, but we've only had the previous one, the initial one, for Team Ash. And Jojo, she did not see that coming. That was a bit too much for her. So Johanna is actually killed. Sad for her. Absolutely no chance to do anything in that situation. I assume she thought that heroes would be on other lanes and not everybody waiting for her to step out too far. But that's what we got. Damage numbers, Muradin, he has fallen off a little bit. It's Sylvanas that has now taken her rightful spot at the top of the damage leaderboard for the red team. And with 31,000, Hanzo is still the #1 here. Level 16 talents are now kicking in, so that's the next one we're getting here. And all the way up towards the top, Falstad is asking for some assistance so that they can take control of the shrine. But they're losing out on the bot lane, where Brightwing and Sylvanas have essentially done the same thing for the Enjoyers now. With the level 16 talent for Anduin, he transforms into the Pullout King again, has now 2 charges on his trade, and Falstad went straight for the Afterburner. And talking Falstad, yeah, he actually, is he getting away? Muradin jumps in, Falstad in trouble, Chromie in trouble, who dies first? Falstad might get out, Chromie doesn't, she's gone down here, Light Bomb against Muradin, the heals are there, that's the end of Hogger, and with the 2 kills, Muradin can jump around on the left side all he wants, but at the end of the day, he's most likely going to fall too. Muradin is able to take him with a lightning rod, but for a second it looked like he might kill himself by chasing Muradin. So yeah, there we go. 8 kills to 6. The fort at the top has been taken down now as well. It is quite clear that with that fight, with that victory, the blue team is now starting to take control. They are claiming not only another structure at the top lane, they've also stolen the Siege Giants away, which immediately starts taking hit points off the bottom fort. And with the Dragon Knight that they just got for themselves, they can do even more damage now. So, yeah, Sylvanas is getting her ass kicked a little bit and flies off towards the core as the Dragon Knight is utilizing his Dragon's Breath more than anything else. But yeah, bottom of the map, seems like they're gonna get this one. Nobody's defending, Siege Giants are coming in from all directions, and they are instead pressuring for the middle. Team Ash in this first game of the best of 3 looking good and getting another kill. Muradin pulling a bit of a Houdini right there, just disappearing in a second. One moment he was there, next moment he's gone. Sylvanas goes for some mana, and the quick hit point boost here, hearthing in. And in case that you're actually not familiar with this, it's much faster for you to hearth from here than to walk, because you're getting an insta boost once that the hearth is over. So it actually accelerates things. I guess most people will probably know that little trick, but in case that you weren't aware of it yet, now you know. So it depends a bit on the distance, but in this case, again, you're much better off just hearthing instead of walking to the Nexus. Now, bot lane still getting pressured. Siege Giants everywhere. 3 of them. And the Enjoyers are pinned down now. They're really pinned down here. We have Sylvanas on 33,000 damage. Falstad is just roaming the map, trying to get the blue team even farther ahead. And they have a 1.5 level lead, which is going to get extended to level 20 in a moment, with the birdie doing his thing. And funnily enough, the bird hasn't died yet. Honestly, if you would have asked me, I would have told you that Falstad died at least once. But yeah, he actually didn't. So Falstad has not fallen yet. He's the only one in the entire game that made it out of all of those fights alive. Red team is trying to play it a bit more aggressively here now. And here comes level 20. Shockwave doesn't hit anything. That's already a bad start for them. They're coming in with Light Bomb. That didn't do anything, but at least the arrow connects. Nice. Bishops with a good arrow, with a nice follow-up. They go for Brightwing. Can't kill her, but they took Sylvanas down. And now they're going for Hogger, who barely gets out. The Jet Propulsion connects, but it doesn't stun. Hogger already in the spin. Again trying for Chromie, and she's not going to make it. They are absolutely swarming that keep. They want the Fruit Fly too. Morena switches targets back to Muradin as they're getting ready for another kill. And the bunker is out as well with another stun coming in. Those Jet Propulsions are hitting, and they're hitting hard. They're going for Hogger, and they drop him. Catapults are already wreaking havoc on the keep's hit points. And this looks like it will be the beginning of the end. The keep falls, and the blue team with only 2 defenders left is now making moves towards the core to end game and number 1. And things are looking great for them. Now Sylvana's going to be back in 5 seconds. Falstad, yeah, gets actually hit. The catapult is also doing damage. We're at 70% on the core at this point, with Sylvana's now coming back into the fray, trying to look for a kill herself. They're going for Blaze, can't quite get him. Wind Tunnel is used. Light Bomb, but the core down at 20, down at 10. And this is all she wrote. A 1-0 lead for Team Ash in the best of 3 series here in the losers bracket of qualifier number 4 for the Banshee Cup. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Cursed Hollow! Well, let's go everybody! I love the map, and we got a lead for the blue team. And we got the Enjoyers here too. And by the way, since this is going up to YouTube, I have to point something out. There was just somebody coming into Twitch chat and saying like, Khaldor, if you love Cursed Hollow, that's great, but I love Haunted Mines, and we are not seeing Haunted Mines anymore in tournaments. Where have you been? Like, seriously. So first of all, we had Haunted Mines, we had Shitamura, we had Forehead Junction, and all those other trash maps like Blackheart's Bay several times already in the past few tournaments. But if you really haven't seen any of these games, there's a playlist on the channel that's called Meta Mapness, and in there we played all the shitty maps. So if you are someone that is still looking for some games on those maps and wants to have a little bit of hilarity ensue, I would heavily recommend that you're checking out the playlists that I have on my channel, because they're all there. People demanded at some point that I create specific playlists for all these tournaments, and I've started to do it, so it's up to you now to look them up. But this time we're on Cursed Hollow, on a pretty good map, and I love this one. So still curious what we're getting in regards to picks, and if somebody is going for a more aggressive comp, maybe we're going to get some Tyrael action again. Noteworthy that the same bans are now in play again for the Enjoyers than we had on the previous map, so they really do not want to give up Lucio or Maiev. Little side note, in case you're unaware, we don't have any pre-bans for this tournament. This isn't Meta Madness, but we still have the rule that you can only play a hero once within the series. So the 10 that were played just on the previous map cannot be played again. The reason for the rule is extremely simple. We just want to make sure that it's not getting too boring and you're seeing Hanzo every single game, Blaze every single game, and so on and so forth. So yeah. Keep that in mind. It's not stretching players too thin here. I mean, we got 90 heroes in the game, so there's that. So yeah, but makes things a little bit more interesting. Diablo as a first pick for Atrax. The Enjoyers bring the Lord of Terror out onto Cursed Hollow to drive the terror into the heart of the opponent's team. And we get ETC and Cassia as a response. Lord of Terror. Stinky cow with a guitar. Not quite the same weight, but hey. Okay. Okay. So, we got Cassia to try and get the damage out. But yeah, when I look at the picks, they don't quite have the same weight. We get Zeratul and Sonya. So, I didn't see an early Zeratul come in as quickly. I'm assuming that's going to be a Void Prison into an Apocalypse. Normally I would say that's not happening and we're going to get a normal Might of the Nerazim build with Diablo Lightning Breath. But if they pick it like this before the next ban phase, this starts to look like they're working on a combo. That's also the reason why Jaina was not banned out. I can guarantee you that under normal circumstances they wouldn't have gone for a Jaina ban. But the way this is being set up by the red team clearly indicates they're looking for some wombos. And if you assume that your opponent is going to walk away with a Void Prison pick on Zeratul, then yes, getting rid of the Ring of Frost as a potential follow-up is a pretty smart move. So Team Ashe adapting quickly to the pick pattern that we see from the Enjoyers, and I'm very curious if they actually go for it. Because you can totally play Zeratul on Diablo with like normal ults, but the way they picked them makes it highly likely that we're gonna get a wombo combo. Or at least it makes it an option. Now we get Greymane, and we have Kharazim. Okay. Draft is coming together for them too. Kharazim, Greymane can go for your camps. There's a lot of mobility on the team too now. Assuming to an extent that ETC is going for the sliding thingy. What's it called? Showstopper? No, what's the name? The thingy where you can slide over debris and stuff? You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, the power slide upgrade. Most likely gonna get that. Li Ming is in, and we get Stukov. So Stukov with a bit of a combo that he can use there too. He can always follow up on a Void Prison if they do that. Li Ming with another bit of burst that they can get in as well. And that leaves us with the final pick for the blue team. It's their match point, so if they take a victory on Cursed Hollow, we move on to the next round. Nubarak, okay, there's my main tank. ETC is going to be the side laner, likely going to go for stage dive, and Nubarak as a main tank. Makes a little bit more sense now. They go for the flex pick at the start and then switch over into a different main tank that is also going to give them Cocoon now. Cursed Hollow, everybody, let's go. Game number 2 in the best of 3 series here in the losers bracket of the 4th qualifier. Game number 2, good to go, with Team Ashe on the left and the Enjoyers on the right. We got Renella on Kharazim, we have Maitri on Cassia, Morenas is playing Greymane, Down for Life with ETC and Bishops as the main tank today. So a bit of role swapping going on here with Nubarak. On the right side of the map, the Enjoyers with Lavakal on Stukov, Itrax is playing Diablo, Richu on Sonya, and Arion is indeed going into a cleave build now with Zeratul, so is already making the first steps away from Might of the Narazim build, with Ether coming in on Li Ming, picking Ether Walk as his level 1. It's kind of funny. Ether is picking Ether Walk. Who would have thought? Yeah. No, the party's already starting. ETC with the first little tunes over here. Okay. Top side, Sonya, down at the bottom of the map. Vision has now been taken by the blue team. They're sending Cassia towards the top, and apparently they're still waiting and hoping for the red team to rotate back down. Nubarak slows them down slightly, giving Greymane a bit more time on the wave and maybe even giving him an opportunity to get some damage in on the wall itself, which is exactly what's happening right now. It's not only him. They're getting the entire team in action. Damn, that's a tower. Oof. Yeah, they gotta rotate down pretty quickly if they want to do more here. Zeratul alone is not going to cut it. So, yeah, that's nearly going to be eliminated. Diablo's coming in. Would love to flip somebody on the other side of that wall, but can't quite make it work. Instead, we have the second tower nearly destroyed, so good for them. Now, level 1, we get the charged strikes now. We get the block party in. And the rotation towards the middle with Arion on Zeratul is now also coming to pass. So, camps are being taken. Sonya is going for spin to win. I mean, Hogger spins and wins a little bit more in the early game, but Sonya is at least a close second, so she's able to nearly get the camp, get some assistance from Stukov, so they're at least able to do that. And in the meantime, all the way up at the top, we still got a bit of poke coming in from Maitri. But at the end of the day, again, camps are being taken. The initial damage against the bottom wall was nice for the blue team, but of course they got to do a lot more if they want to start to take the lead here. We got Triumvirate on level 4 now for Li Ming, and here it is, the Crowd Surfer. That's the talent name that I was looking for. So, Crowd Surfer is in on level 4 as already expected, so he's going to have that mobility that makes it so much easier also for Kharazim to move since he's getting new dash targets. Nubarak can traverse terrain anyways, and for Zeratul we get the Psionic Strength. And well, strength enough to take a hero down? Not yet. Sonya still survives. The Eminem of the Nexus made it out. Zeratul is thinking, do I have enough hit points to make a move? And then he decides like, well, maybe I'm gonna wait a moment. Just a second. But they are all defending here. This is a full 5 versus 5 in the middle. And not only does the blue team lock in a kill against Sonya, they're taking a tower down and they're doing even more damage. They're coming for the gate. And this one will get dropped too. So, good combo at least from Li Ming. Chunking down Greymane a bit, but this is taking even more structures out, and since everybody was pinned down in the middle, it allows Maitri to easily move towards the top of the map and grab the first tribute. So, job well done. First tribute is taken. We have now Greymane going for the next camp. So he's already playing around with the Siege Giants here. The blue team is actually making some really nice moves. I mean, not only do they do initial damage against essentially every single wall that we have there, but they got the first kill in the game. On top of that, they were able to just gain a lot of momentum and even establish a bit of a lead and experience that they now hold. So it's actually a very solid start, or at least it was until Bishops died on Anubarak. So yeah, Bishops is gone, and now the red team, the Enjoyers, they're chasing Maitri as well, trying to drop Cassia here. Kharazim gets his dash target, and they're getting out of the fight. So at least nobody died here. There's still a DPS battle happening in the middle of the map, or at least was, between Zeratul and Greymane. With a kill to a kill and only one tribute so far spawning and being taken. The second one is now appearing on the map, and that's actually the case at the top. And it's a little bit more towards the blue team side, so they have a chance to make a move here. ETC not coming up just yet, neither does Zeratul, who has gone into the Seeker in the dark as his level 7 talent choice. The attacks against Diablo, quick dash, Kharazim coming in with a kill, and they're trying to go for Richu, and they drop him. Sonya and Diablo are both dead. Nicely done. 3 kills to 1, and that means tribute number 2 also goes to Team Ash. Pretty fantastic situation for them. From here on out, they will be able to force the red team into the next fight. I mean, honestly, at the pace this is going, it doesn't even seem like there is going to be a fight over the next tribute. Because very likely it's going to happen at the same time that we're seeing heroic abilities on the blue team. And that would mean easy curse. And more importantly, they just took the first fort out as well. So this doesn't look too good for the Enjoyers. They're really struggling here. They lost the fort at the top. With the walls at the bottom and middle destroyed too, there's always a chance for them to move in and try to get quick kills here as well. With Diablo being out on the map, he could die too. So they're putting immediate pressure on him. They will need a bit more damage if they want to make this a reality, but it's definitely possible. And since they're chasing Itrax down, only Stukov is helping him here. Level 10 abilities are in. There comes Stage Dive. Diablo still far away. Good slide, and Stukov is gone. And after they destroyed the fort, they're now aiming for the keep wall. They are wrecking them. Great performance from the blue team. Ruthless as usual, as the Russian-Ukrainian players are moving straight in for another camp. Top lane wall has already been destroyed. Bosses are up on the map. The tribute is spawning too. So they find themselves once again in a stellar position, just gaining all of the momentum and driving it forward. Li Ming going into Brrrr with Disintegrate on level 10. And, as it turns out, we don't get the combo. Instead, we got the Might of the Kharazim after all. So no wombos here. Now, they missed out on going for the tribute, but again, they didn't have a problem letting this one slide since they already had 2 and the opponents had none. So what we're getting instead is them trying to make a double boss play, apparently. There's a chance that they're getting the boss and then trying to push with it. I don't think they necessarily will, and then again, it's Team Ash, so why are I even doubting them? If there's an aggressive play to be made, they're going for it. So now everybody is starting to hearth back to defend, but their keep is already taking damage, and quite a lot of it, if I'm going to be honest. The boss isn't even here yet. Li Ming goes brrrr, and Diablo follows up with the lightning breath. So they're basically going for a double laser show here. Cassia falls, so she gets killed, and ETC has moved in with the stage dive too. But the boss is so weak this early in the game that they can't even do anything with it. So instead of the keep falling, it's insanely low, but it hasn't been taken apart yet. They could go for the curse now. ETC is already moving back down to the bottom of the map. And let's not forget that he just used his ult. So he is still going to be on cooldown for quite some time. It's so amazing. They're actually giving this one up. They're trying to go for the second boss and they're looking to give this one up. It is a bit of a weird one. Some interesting decision making on the side of Team Ashe. The first one I could definitely understand. This one seems to be a little bit more on the odd side, with Zeratul now locking in the second tribute for the for the red team. But at least they're getting a kill on Diablo. Diablo loses the souls, and now there's a chance to make that play for boss. Or trap Zeratul if he goes too far. Somebody missed the button. Or they wanted to go for Sonya in the first place, who now jumps away. So I'm not quite sure what exactly happened there. Either he missed the button, was aiming for Zeratul and didn't get him, or they were aiming for Sonya the entire time and got her. So now we got this integrate against the Cocoon, burning that one down quickly. And it's the end of the fort, I assume. Yeah, this is not looking good for the mid lane fort. Maybe they can save it, but the amount of damage that they're taking on essentially all of the structures that they're holding here is starting to become a massive problem. So, yeah. I mean, against the Nubarak, going for this integrate, obviously always a decent choice. Normally we're seeing that interplay on Battlefield of Eternity. Li Ming is actually not picked all that often anymore outside of Battlefield. She occasionally makes an appearance on other maps, but she's not as diligently picked anymore as she was in days past. Now, if they can lock a target down properly, that's great, but instead it's Diablo that gets locked down and gets killed, so Dibbles is now gone. That is 7 kills to 2, and with a level 13 talent advantage, that gives them also Quicksilver. The blue team is already a step ahead of their opponents. The next tribute has spawned, is getting channeled, and this is finally the curse that we've been talking about the entire time. So now it's an opportunity to take even more structures out, which they obviously will try to do, and then also attempt to make that move for the top lane keep. Fort at the bottom is going to fall, the one in the middle is already about to be dropped, so yep, this one doesn't stand a chance. And at this point, we are just going to see them essentially path the way for a push on the core itself. That's essentially what we're talking about. ETC is still at the bottom of the map. He cannot jump in and probably will, but they already lost Cassia. There's the power slide, and well, can they drop Richu? Yes, they can. Sonya is dead. The lanes are still pushing, but they still haven't taken out the keep. The keep is still here. They still haven't been able to drop that one. So the chase is on. They're even going for Greymane. Renella is rushing away. Bot side is getting attacked. Curse is active for another 14 seconds. That's quite a bit. Another move with the laser. And that was the end of Greymane. Top side keep has been defended. Down at the bottom of the map, though, we see all of the damage coming in on those two towers. The gate has been destroyed. And with ETC sliding away, this one is also going to get dropped. The same has happened in the middle of the map. So everything has been opened up. The red team lost every fort, but they still saved their topside keep, which is pretty big. The problem that they have is that it's still a 2-level advantage for their opponents, and that's not going to make this game any easier for them. So they're still in deep trouble. 8 kills to 4, 29,000 damage on Li Ming now. When we're looking over towards the blue team, it's 36,000 for Greymane. Actually trying to force a fight again, but Li Ming is ready with this disintegrate every single time. Leap coming in too. Follow up from Stuka with a lurking arm. They try for the combo here. And here comes the ball of lightning. Dum 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 dum. As they are finally making sure that it's not going to provide any more damage. The rest of the team comes in. It's a 5 versus 5 now. And Nubara gets away. Bishop's alive. A bit of a slap move from Stukov. And they can slowly retreat here. But big damage at the bottom keep. And of course, there's a camp in the middle that's pushing. There's a big wave that's coming in all the way up at the top. There's a boss still up. Down for life. Rushing out of battle. Yeah, trying to get away from this one as well. And now it's half a level until 16 for the Enjoyers. This is their biggest problem. They still don't have the same talent. They don't have the same talent here. It's a huge issue and something that they've been trying to deal with for a while now. But every single fight that is breaking out is essentially a pretty bad decision for them. A pretty bad battle to begin with, because they just don't have the same talent here. And level 16 is a huge power spike. In this case, we're getting Showstopper, we got Martial Law, we got Executioner, and we got Epic Enter. So it's way too much for them to handle. Boss is now taken. That should honestly seal the deal of the bottom keep at least. And let's not forget that there is a second one up all the way at the top. So they could go for that tribute that has now just spawned. It would deny the curse to the other team. But there's also a boss up at the top of the map. And with that boss, they would be able to take the top keep out. If they even need it, because ETC is already there. ETC is already moving. He is the pseudo-global for the team. Both now on level 16 talents, which also gives us Void Slash next to the Mirror Ball of Li Ming. But yep, they're starting to make their move, and Diablo dies pretty much instantly. Li Ming gets murdered. She went brrr and died. And now with the boss going straight for the keep and taking it out, I don't think they're gonna stop here. Very likely we're gonna see them make a move for the core, and of course they should. They take 3-4 heroes out. Way too many of them are now dead, and that is gonna be the end. Team Ash, in their first appearance in the Banshee Cup qualifiers, makes it to the next round. They move on one more, 13 kills to 4 as they drop the Enjoyers with a 2-0 victory out of the tournament. Nicely done. GG, well played.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Kaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Kaldor TV. Have a great day.